I am a mechanic. I own a small auto repair shop in a town where everyone knows your name and your business. For 2 years, I thought I was building a future with someone who saw me the way I saw her, someone I was ready to marry. Her name was Jessica, and I loved her more than I had ever loved anyone. I was planning to propose on our anniversary just 3 weeks away. But lately, she had been distant, always busy with work, always on her phone. I told myself it was just stress from her upcoming promotion. That Friday night, I finished work early and decided to surprise her with flowers and her favorite Italian takeout. I had no idea that walking into her apartment early would shatter everything I believed about us. Before we dive into what happened next, I want to ask you something. Where are you watching this from? Drop your city or country in the comments. And if this story resonates with you, hit that like button and subscribe, because what comes next is going to show you exactly why you should never settle for someone who does not respect who you are. If you have ever trusted someone completely, only to discover they saw you as less than equal, you will understand what happened next. Stick around because what I did the next day changed everything. Let me tell you about my life before everything fell apart. I own Miller's Auto Repair, a garage I inherited from my father after he passed away 5 years ago. My old man taught me everything I know about engines, about hard work, about treating people right. Every morning, I wake up at 5:30, grab coffee from the diner down the street, and I am at the shop by 6. The smell of motor oil, the sound of engines turning over, the satisfaction of fixing something broken, that is my world. I am good at what I do. My customers trust me. They bring me their trucks, their family cars, even their classic beauties that need restoration. Last year, I pulled in around $65,000. Not rich by any means, but enough to own a small house, pay my bills, and save up for the future I thought I was building. I am proud of what I do. My hands get dirty, sure. I come home with grease under my fingernails that takes 3 washes to get out. But I built this business from the ground up after my father died, and every callus on my hands represents something real. I help people. When a single mom comes in with a broken down van and 3 kids in the back seat, I fix it fast, and I do not overcharge her. When a veteran needs work done, I give him a discount. That is how my father raised me. There is honor in honest work, he used to say. I believe that. I still do. 2 years ago, Jessica walked into my life when her car broke down on a Tuesday afternoon. She was wearing a sharp business suit, heels that clicked on the concrete floor, and she looked completely out of place in my garage. She worked as a marketing manager for a big firm downtown, and I remember thinking she was way out of my league. But she laughed at my jokes while I diagnosed her transmission problem. She stayed and talked to me even after I told her the car would be ready in 2 hours. The next week, she came back. Her car was fine. She just wanted to see me. We went out for pizza and a movie, nothing fancy, and I fell hard. Those first months were incredible. Jessica said she loved how genuine I was, how different from the corporate guys she usually dated. She told me I was refreshing, that I did not play games. I taught her how to change a tire. She helped me set up social media for the shop. On weekends, we would barbecue in my backyard, watch football, go hiking in the state park. I introduced her to my friends. She met my mom. I was already imagining our wedding small and simple, maybe at the church my parents got married in. I bought a ring 2 months ago. It is a modest diamond, not huge, but I saved for 6 months to afford it. I hid it in my nightstand drawer, planning to propose on our 2-year anniversary by the lake, where we had our first real conversation. But something shifted about 3 or 4 months ago. Jessica started pulling away. She was always busy with work meetings, corporate events, networking dinners. When we were together, she was glued to her phone. I would suggest we talk about moving in together, and she would say it was not the right time yet. Once I mentioned I wanted kids in the next few years, and she changed the subject so fast, it gave me whiplash. I told myself she was stressed. She was up for a senior manager position, a big promotion that would mean more money and more responsibility. I understood pressure. I supported her. I figured once things settled down at her job, we would get back to normal. There were other signs I ignored. Her parents had never invited me to their house for dinner. We met a few times, always at restaurants, and they were polite, but cold. I could feel them measuring me, finding me lacking. Her younger sister Amanda was a marketing director in New York. Jessica talked about her all the time, but I had never met her. Jessica said Amanda was always too busy to visit. Looking back, I realized Jessica never brought me to her company events. She would go alone or with coworkers. When I asked about it, she said they were boring, that I would not enjoy them. I believed her. I trusted her. I loved her, and I thought she loved me back the same way. I should have seen it coming. But love makes you blind, does it not? You ignore the little things because you want to believe in the big picture. You tell yourself everything will work out because the alternative that the person you love does not really value you is too painful to consider. So you keep going. You keep hoping. Until one night, hope is not enough anymore. That Friday, I was supposed to meet Jessica at 8 in the evening, but I finished up at the shop early around 6:30. I just wrapped up a brake job that went faster than expected. I was in a good mood. I stopped at the flower shop on Main Street and picked up a bouquet of yellow tulips, her favorite. Then I grabbed takeout from that Italian place she always raved about, the one with the carbonara. She said reminded her of her semester abroad in Rome. I got a tiramisu too. I wanted to surprise her, make her smile the way she used to smile at me, before everything got complicated. I drove to her apartment building downtown, the nice complex with the lobby that always smells like expensive candles. She lives on the 3rd floor. I have a key, but I decided to knock first, thinking I would surprise her when she opened the door. I knocked. No answer. I could hear her voice inside, muffled through the door. She was on the phone laughing. I smiled. I used the key and opened the door quietly, planning to sneak up and surprise her. The apartment was warm lit, with soft yellow light from the lamps she loves. I could see into the living room. Jessica was standing on the balcony with the glass door open, her back to me. She was wearing gray sweatpants and an oversized sweater, her hair pulled up in a messy bun. She was holding a glass of red wine in one hand and her phone in the other. She was laughing, really laughing, the kind of genuine laughter I had not heard from her in months. I was about to call out to her, but then I heard her say a name. Amanda, seriously. Her sister. She was talking to her sister. I froze. Something in her tone made me stop. I stood there in the entryway holding the flowers and the bag of food, and I listened. Jessica said, "Amanda, relax. Yes, he is sweet. Yes, he treats me well. But, come on, he is a mechanic." My stomach dropped. I felt like someone had punched me in the chest. I could not move. I just stood there listening. There was a pause. Amanda was saying something on the other end. Jessica laughed, a light, careless laugh. I know. He is genuine. But think about it. I am about to be senior manager. The company expects a certain image. You know how it is in corporate. Another pause. My hands started shaking. The flowers felt heavy. Babe, I am not being shallow. I am being realistic. When I go to company events, I need a partner who fits. Someone with a degree. Someone who understands my world. I felt cold. My heart was pounding so hard I thought she might hear it. Look, Dwayne is a phase. He is comfortable, stable. He makes me feel safe after all those jerks I dated. But marry him. Amanda, be serious. The world tilted. I gripped the takeout bag tighter. I wanted to leave. I wanted to run. But my legs would not move. Here is the truth. I am using him. There, I said it. I am using him until I meet someone more appropriate. Someone Mom and Dad would be proud of. I could not breathe. 2 years. 2 years of my life. I was going to propose to this woman. I had a ring. I had plans. I thought we were building something real. A grease monkey. Are you kidding me? Can you imagine introducing my husband, the mechanic, at corporate dinners? No, thank you. She laughed again. That laugh cut through me like a blade. Relax, I am just using him. I would never marry a grease monkey. Never. The bag of food slipped from my hand and hit the floor with a loud thud. The sound echoed in the quiet apartment. Jessica spun around, her eyes wide, her phone dropping from her hand. She saw me standing there. The flowers were still in my hand, but some of the petals had fallen to the floor. We stared at each other. Her face went pale. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. I could not speak. My throat was closed. My chest ached. Everything I thought I knew, everything I believed about us, shattered in that moment. I saw her clearly for the first time. Not the woman I loved, not the woman I thought loved me back, but someone who saw me as less than. Someone who was ashamed of me. Someone who was using me. Dwayne, she whispered. Her voice shook. How long have you been standing there? I still could not speak. I just looked at her. She took a step toward me. That is not. I did not mean it like that. I found my voice. It came out flat, emotionless. I heard enough. She started talking faster, her words tumbling over each other. You are taking it out of context. I was just venting to my sister. You do not understand the pressure I am under at work. Dwayne, please. I dropped the flowers on the floor next to the spilled takeout. I turned toward the door. Dwayne, wait. Please. Let me explain. I stopped. I looked back at her one more time. Her eyes were filling with tears, but I felt nothing. No anger. No sadness. Just emptiness. There's nothing to explain, Jessica. I heard you. I heard exactly who you are. I walked out. She called after me, but I did not stop. I did not look back. I went down the stairs, got in my truck, and drove. I did not know where I was going. I just drove until I ended up in an empty parking lot by the old rail yard. I sat there in the darkness, engine off, staring at nothing. I reached into my pocket and pulled out the small velvet box I had been carrying around for weeks, waiting for the perfect moment. I opened it. The diamond caught the faint light from a street lamp. It looked so small, so meaningless now. I thought about everything I had planned, the proposal by the lake, the surprise on her face, the life we were supposed to build together. It was all gone. It never really existed. Not the way I thought it did. I did not cry. I just sat there feeling hollow, feeling like a fool. But somewhere in that hollowness, something else started to grow. Not anger, not bitterness, just clarity. I deserved better than this. I deserved someone who was proud of me, not ashamed. Someone who saw my work as honorable, not embarrassing. I was not going to beg. I was not going to let her explain it away. I was going to walk away with my dignity intact, and tomorrow I was going to cancel everything. I sat in that parking lot for maybe an hour, just staring at the ring in my hand, all the plans I had made, all the dreams I had built around this woman. They were gone, but in the quiet, in the darkness, something clicked into place. I was not the problem. My job was not the problem. She was the problem. And I was done letting someone make me feel like I was not good enough. I pulled out my phone and called Paul. Paul has been my best friend since high school. He is a lawyer, now handles contracts and business disputes. He picked up on the second ring. Dwayne, what is up? I told him everything. I told him what I heard. I told him what Jessica said. By the time I finished, Paul was silent for a long moment. Man. He finally said, his voice tight with anger. I'm sorry. That is messed up. What are you going to do? I am done, Paul. I am ending it. Clean break. Tomorrow. Good, he said firmly. You deserve better than that. You need me to do anything. Just be there if I need to talk. Always, brother. We hung up. I drove home. I did not sleep much that night. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, running through everything in my head. But by the time the sun came up, I knew exactly what I needed to do. Saturday morning, 7 o'clock. I drove to Jessica's apartment. I knew she would be up. She always woke up early, even on weekends. I knocked on the door firm and steady. She opened it almost immediately, like she had been waiting. Her eyes were red and swollen. She had been crying. She looked at me with this desperate hope, like maybe I was there to forgive her. Dwayne, please let me explain. I am here to get my things and return your key. Her face crumpled. Dwayne, no. Please. It was a stupid mistake. I did not mean those things. I was talking to Amanda, and I do not know why I said that. Please give me another chance. I walked past her into the apartment. I went to the closet where I kept a spare hoodie. I grabbed it. I went to the bathroom and got my toothbrush. I picked up a small toolbox I had left there for when I fixed things around her place. I grabbed a photo album she had made for me last Christmas. I looked at it for a second, then set it back down on the coffee table. You can keep the memories. I do not need them. Dwayne, please. She was crying now, really sobbing. I love you. I made a mistake. I did not mean it. You have to believe me. I walked to the door and pulled her key off my keyring. I set it on the table by the door. I looked at her one last time. I hope you find someone who fits your image, Jessica. Someone you are not ashamed of. Someone you do not have to hide. I walked out. She followed me to the hallway, begging me to stay to talk to give her another chance. I kept walking. I got in my truck and drove away. I did not look in the rearview mirror. Next stop was the restaurant. I had made a reservation at the nicest place in town for our anniversary 3 weeks away. I called them from the truck. Hi, this is Dwayne Miller. I need to cancel a reservation for the evening of the 23rd. The hostess was kind. She processed the cancellation and refunded my deposit, $200 back in my account. Then I called the bed and breakfast by the coast. I had booked a room for the weekend, the place with the view of the ocean where I was planning to propose. Another cancellation, another refund, $350. I drove to the jewelry store where I bought the ring. The owner, Mr. Alvarez, recognized me when I walked in. He smiled, then saw my face, and the smile faded. Dwayne, is everything okay? I explained the situation. I did not go into details, just said the engagement was off. He nodded, understanding in his eyes. I am sorry to hear that, son. We do not normally take returns on custom orders, but let me see what I can do. He offered me store credit for the full amount, $1,500. I looked around the store. I did not want another ring. I did not want jewelry. But then I saw a watch in the case. A nice one, clean lines, sturdy. The kind of watch a man wears when he is proud of who he is. I will take that one. Mr. Alvarez smiled. Good choice. A man should have a good watch. He boxed it up. I put it on my wrist when I got back to the truck. It felt solid. Real. A reminder that I was moving forward. I spent the rest of the day blocking her on every social media platform, deleting photos, erasing messages. It felt like pulling out splinters, painful, but necessary. By the time the sun set, Jessica was gone from my phone, from my social media, from my life. Clean break. Just like I promised myself. A week later, I was under the hood of a Chevy Silverado when I heard the shop door open. I looked up. It was Sarah, one of my regular customers. She worked as an executive at the same company as Jessica. Hey, Dwayne. She said, her voice careful. Can we talk for a minute? I wiped my hands on a rag and walked over. Sure, what is up? Sarah hesitated. She looked uncomfortable. I heard what happened with you and Jessica. I stiffened. Word travels fast. Sarah shook her head. It is not just that. I wanted you to know there has been talk at the office. About what she said. About you. My stomach tightened. How did people find out Amanda Jessica's sister? She told a friend and it got around. People are not happy, Dwayne. A lot of people at the company came from working class backgrounds. They are not impressed with Jessica right now. I did not know what to say. I did not want Jessica to suffer. I just wanted to move on. I am not telling you this to make you feel good or bad, Sarah continued. I just thought you should know. Jessica has been well. She has been having a hard time. People are treating her differently. I nodded slowly. I did not want this. I just wanted respect. Sarah reached out and squeezed my arm. You deserve it, Dwayne. You are a good man. Do not let anyone make you think otherwise. After she left, I went back to work. I did not feel satisfaction. I did not feel vindicated. I just felt sad. Sad that it came to this. Sad that she valued appearances more than she valued me. But I did not regret my decision. I did not regret walking away. Over the next few weeks, I threw myself into work. I took on a project I had been putting off, restoring a 1967 Mustang. It was a beauty cherry red, but it needed everything. New engine, new transmission, bodywork, paint. I worked on it every night after the shop closed, sometimes until midnight. The work was meditative. It cleared my mind. It reminded me why I loved what I do. I hung out with Paul and the guys. We watched football, drank beer, talked about everything except Jessica. They did not push me to talk about it. They just let me be. That is what good friends do. And slowly, I started to feel okay. Not happy yet, but okay. I realized something important. I did not need someone who saw me as a project or a phase. I needed someone who saw me as a partner. And if that person did not exist, I was okay being alone. I was okay being enough for myself. 6 months passed. Life moved on the way it always does. Miller's Auto Repair kept me busy. Word got around about the Mustang restoration, and a local car magazine reached out. They did a feature on the shop, took photos of the Mustang, interviewed me about my work. It felt good to be recognized for what I actually do, not judged for it. After the article came out, I started getting calls from people who wanted classic car restorations. It became a new revenue stream. I even hired an apprentice, a kid named Tyler, just out of high school. He reminded me of myself at that age, hungry to learn, respectful of the craft. I taught him the way my father taught me. I joined a local classic car club. We met once a month, drove our cars through the countryside, stopped at diners, talked about engines and paint jobs, and the good old days. I made new friends, people who appreciated the work I did, people who did not care about corporate images or job titles, people who valued skill and passion. I also started volunteering. One Saturday a month, I opened the shop to single moms and veterans. Free oil changes, free brake checks, free minor repairs. My father used to do the same thing. He said, if you have the skills to help people, you should use them. It felt good to give back. It felt like honoring his memory. As for Jessica, I thought about her less and less. The pain faded. The anger, what little there was, disappeared. I did not wish her harm. I just did not wish her anything. She was a closed chapter, a lesson learned. Then one Saturday, I went to a classic car show 2 towns over. It was a beautiful day, sunny and clear. I brought the Mustang. People were admiring it, asking questions. I was talking to an older guy about carburetors when someone tapped my shoulder. "Excuse me, is this your car?" I turned around. It was a woman, maybe late 20s, with dark curly hair pulled back in a ponytail. She was wearing jeans and a faded t-shirt with a veterinary clinic logo on it. She had kind eyes. "Yeah, it is mine. Just finished restoring her." She smiled. "It is gorgeous. My dad had a Mustang like this when I was a kid. I have always loved them." We started talking. Her name was Rachel. She was a veterinarian at a clinic in the next town. She drove a beat-up old Jeep that she loved despite its issues. She asked about the restoration process, and she actually listened, asked smart questions, seemed genuinely interested. We talked for 20 minutes before I realized I had not thought about anything else the entire time. You know, she said, my Jeep has been making this weird noise. I do not suppose you work on Jeeps? I laughed. I work on anything with an engine. Bring it by sometime. I will take a look. She smiled. I might just do that. She did. 2 days later, she showed up at the shop with her Jeep. The noise was a loose heat shield easy fix. I had it done in 20 minutes. When I told her there was no charge, she insisted on buying me coffee. We went to the diner down the street. We talked for 2 hours. She told me about her work about the animals she helped, about her dream of opening her own clinic someday. I told her about the shop, about my father, about the satisfaction of fixing things that are broken. I did not tell her about Jessica. Not yet. That was old history, and this, whatever this was, felt new, felt hopeful. I was not rushing into anything. I was not looking for someone to fill a void. But sitting there with Rachel laughing over bad diner coffee, I felt something I had not felt in a long time. I felt like maybe, just maybe, the future was not such a scary place after all. One afternoon, a few weeks later, I was in the shop working on an oil change when I heard the door open. I looked up and froze. It was Jessica. She looked different, thinner, tired. Her hair was pulled back, and she was not wearing makeup. She looked nervous. I wiped my hands and walked over to the front counter. "Hi, Dwayne," she said quietly. I know I do not deserve your time, but can we talk?" I leaned against the counter and crossed my arms. "What do you need, Jessica?" She took a breath. "I need to apologize. Truly apologize. What I said that night, it was horrible. It was the worst thing I have ever done." She looked down at her hands. "I lost the promotion. I lost friends at work. But more than that, I lost myself. I became someone I do not recognize. I did not say anything. I just listened. You deserved so much better, Dwayne. You deserved someone who was proud of you, who valued your work. I was shallow and I hurt you. I am not here to ask for another chance. I know that ship has sailed. I just needed you to know that you were never the problem." I was. Tears rolled down her cheeks. "I'm sorry, Dwayne. I'm so sorry." I stood there for a moment, just looking at her. I did not feel anger. I did not feel satisfaction. I just felt calm. "I appreciate you saying that, Jessica. I do. And I hope you have learned from this." I paused. "You are not a bad person. You were just lost in what you thought you needed to be. I hope you find yourself. And I hope you find someone you are proud to be, with not someone you feel you need to upgrade from." She nodded, wiping her eyes. "Thank you. That is more grace than I deserve." "I forgive you," I said. "Not for you. For me. I am moving forward and I cannot carry that anger." She gave me a small, sad smile. "You are going to make someone very happy someday, Dwayne. Someone who deserves you." I did not respond to that. She turned and walked toward the door. At the threshold, she looked back one more time. "Take care of yourself. You too." And then she was gone. For real this time. I watched her walk to her car and drive away. I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. Closure. Real closure. Not the kind where you get back together or stay friends. The kind where you acknowledge the past, release it, and move forward. I went back to work. The oil change was waiting. Life was waiting. And I was ready for it. So here is what I learned from all of this. I used to think that maybe I was not enough, that maybe Jessica was right, that being a mechanic was not impressive enough, that I should be ashamed of my work of my life. But I learned something important. There is honor in every honest work. The person who fixes your car, who teaches your kids, who builds your home, We are all worthy of respect. My hands might be stained with grease, but they built something real. They provide for me. They help people. That matters. I also learned that love should not come with shame. It should not come with the feeling that you need to hide who you are or what you do. The right person will be proud to stand beside you, not despite what you do, but because of who you are. If someone sees you as a phase or a placeholder, walk away. You deserve to be someone's first choice, not their backup plan. Forgiving Jessica did not mean forgetting what she said. It did not mean pretending it did not hurt. It meant freeing myself from the bitterness, from the anger. She has to live with her choices, and I get to live with mine. I chose my dignity. I chose my self-respect. And that is something no one can take away from me. As for what is next, I do not know. Rachel and I are taking things slow, seeing where it goes. Maybe it will work out, maybe it will not. But I know one thing for sure. I will never again settle for someone who does not see my worth. Life is too short to spend it with people who make you feel small. So, yeah, that is my story. The night my girlfriend called me a grease monkey and said she would never marry me, and how I walked away from someone who did not value me. If you are in a relationship where you feel like you are not enough, where someone makes you feel ashamed of who you are, listen to me. You are enough. You have always been enough. Do not wait for someone to change. Do not wait for respect that should have been there from the start. And if you ever find yourself standing behind someone who is tearing you down to others, do what I did. Turn around, walk away, and never look back. Because sometimes the bravest thing you can do is choose yourself. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever had to walk away from someone who did not respect you? How did you find the strength to do it? Drop your story in the comments below. And if this story hit home for you, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Share this with someone who might need to hear it. Someone who is struggling with feeling not good enough. Someone who needs a reminder that they deserve better. I appreciate every single one of you for listening to my story. I hope it helps you in some way. Take care of yourselves. Treat yourselves with the respect you deserve. And remember, you are always enough exactly as you are. Until next time.